Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming back and watching my videos. My name is Nate. Our channel is custom made by us. We're a small digital print design company out of Boise, Idaho. Our company is custom made by us. I think I probably already said that, but today's video is just, my videos are more geared around, helping our customers to be able to utilize our services by generating their, artwork, getting it to us so we can actually print it and it comes out nice. The other part of the channel is I have a lot of friends that have the same printer setup that I have back here. So I put little videos together showing them how I do certain processes, the way that I do it. I think everybody has their own way of doing things, but sometimes knowing how somebody does something helps to, for better understanding for them if they're not, maybe they're having a hard time doing something. So that's the whole purpose of the channel, is to share information, so hopefully this can be helpful to somebody. So this is, kind of my morning routine, when I get up and I come out here into the shop to get started. So I'm going to turn the camera around here and I'll kind of show you what my processes are. So hang in there. Okay, so here's the setup. It's where I spend a little bit of my time throughout the day. I have a laptop over there on the wall, or against the wall. I bought that stand on Amazon. Holds my laptop, and then I got my Dymo label printer below it for the label printer for orders. A little thing above just kind of holds the cables so they're not just hanging off the thing there, so that was kind of nice to have that. I think the stand was initially made for a projector system, but it works good for my laptop. So I use that there. Over on this side here, I've got, this is just an Epson Eco Tank. I use this for printing out pack slips. This laptop here was the one I was using over there. I just recently replaced that laptop with, I replaced this laptop with the one that's up there now. Due to, I had purchased this one on Amazon for like $200 just to get things underway, and it worked. It runs the software, the RIP software. It's a little bit slow. It was a refurbished laptop, so that's why the speed wasn't great. But the main problem was the disk space on my laptop was only 256 gigs, and the downside with what we do from digital printing is our RIP software takes your PNG files and we rip them, and then we export them to a PTR or PRT, one of those files, to the hard drive on our system, and those typically are gigabytes in size. So with a 256 gig drive, with the operating system installed and the applications installed, I had maybe 40 gigs of free space. And if you got 2 gigabytes per print file, you're gonna have 20 files and your drive is full. So new laptop, bigger hard drive, that's what was going on there. So the first thing I do though in the mornings is I'm gonna set this camera up so it's more of on a tripod. So you may not be able to see my screen real well, just based on where I have it. Which you really don't need to see that portion of it. I want you to see the actual finished print so you can get an idea of how that looks. And I'll kind of talk about the software as I go through it. So we use Print EXP to print our jobs. So that's this application here. First thing I do when I open the application is I do a head clean. So I click on clean, I choose all or both heads, and then there's a weak, normal, and strong. So in the mornings I typically do a strong head clean. So right now the printer says it's cleaning the head. You kind of hear it making noise too. You'll see some ink waste will go down this line here when it does its thing. There it goes. And then it runs back and hits that little squeegee to wipe the ink off the head. It says cleaning head. And then I print a nozzle check. So this is actually my second time this morning, because you can see I've already got a nozzle check that I printed. So once that's done, I then go ahead, I'm going to try to do this with one hand. I feed the film forward so I can kind of look at the quality of the check, see if there's any missing lines in my check. Everything looks good this morning. So because I ran another strong clean, I'll go ahead and press nozzle test one more time, just to let it print one more out, get a little more ink through it. So, and then I have a test file, which I'm going to print. And the test file has, let me open it up. So I go inside our production manager software, which is from a company called Flexi. I run Flexi 22. So I go to job, and then I scroll through all my folders. I have a folder called printer repairs and maintenance, because this is kind of a maintenance process. And I have this PNG file called the daily morning print file. So if you take a look at the file inside of PM, or production manager, you can see the graphic is just the CMYK and then the white channel, and then it has some shapes. So that's what I'm going to print out. So once I do that, you can see again I've got another nozzle check, so I'll use the down function to get this down below or out of the way so my test file doesn't print on top of my nozzle check. Come back to my desk. I'm going to go ahead and right click this file and click send, because it already has the values that I want. Actually, I'll go inside it real quick. So when I go inside here, inside the file, and I know it's small on the screen, you probably can't see it. The settings I normally look at is the tab that's called color management, color mode, and then there's a choke setting. Choke is set to 0.1 millimeter. So that's, how much it's going to pull back the underbase from the edge of your graphic. So if you choke it to 0, no choke at all, you print your graphic, your CMYK graphic goes down, and then the white goes on top of that. So if your choke is set to 0, the white will go all the way to the edge of the image. So realistically, we always choke 0.1 millimeters to the edge. So it pulls that white ink and powder underbase in by 0.1 millimeter. And you can change the value. If you double click on it, you can increase the choke and bring it in more if you want, depending on the artwork. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes if you have real fine lines, real skinny lines, you can't choke by 0.1 because it's not even feasible. So sometimes you have to turn that off. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. I know my setting is right, so I'm going to click send. So it takes it from the hold into the rip status, and this is a fast file, so it's already done ripping. And then it says printing, but it's not actually printing. It prints to file. So that file then gets generated in a directory on the computer under my C drive, and that folder is called PRT files, and then there's my daily morning print file, .prt. So now what I do is I go inside Flexi, and I'm on the PRT_files directory, but I don't see my file in this directory, so I right click and I click on refresh directory, and now I can see my file that I sent out from production manager. So if I open this up, there's my print file. Looks kind of gross inside of print EXP, and that's, the point of it's not to show you the quality of the graphic that you're printing. It's just to give you a visual representation of the graphic that you're going to print. So that's why it looks like it does. So once I have it there, I just click on print. So then I come over and I take a look at the printer. It says print ready. You hear a little bit of the system going. So this is printing my file. And again, what this allows me to do is to verify my colors. So I've got my black, cyan, magenta, yellow, and then the white channel. So you won't see the white until it starts laying down the underbase. So there's the white underbase. It doesn't take too long to print this. And then what this does, again, is it allows me to see if I have any offsets, you know, vertical or horizontal offsets, especially on these thin lines. I can see it's laying down that white ink on those lines. And I can see it's right where it needs to be with that 0.1 mm choke. And then that is it. So my print file. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to go ahead and grab the image off of the printer. I'm going to feed it down. I always keep a pair of scissors on top of the printer. And I cut it off here. And then the other thing I do is I move this up here. I cut this to where it's just my test image. I just had a little no-no there. When I was cutting that off, I touched the film. You can see it's still wet. So I'm not too concerned about that because that's going in the trash anyways. So I toss out my nozzle checks, and then at this point, I don't powder this because it's not going on anything, but I do want to dry it to look at it better. So I drop it into the oven, I turn on the vacuum. And we'll let that go through. And once it comes out, we'll continue on with the video. I'll pause it right here. Okay, now that the print came out of the oven, you can see my little oops there when I touched the film when I was cutting it. But again, I'm not too concerned with that because I can see my colors from here is good. And then again, the shapes have a white ink underbase, so you can see the circle that got smudged there, unfortunately, as well. The plus, the swirl, the star. So what I look at here is, again, black, cyan, magenta, yellow, and white. Colors to me look good this morning. I look at the border, make sure that the border looks okay. And then I look to make sure that I don't see any white underbase. And this print this morning, you know, as fine as this line is, you don't see anything. So if I turn it over on the other side, you'll see the white print on it. I don't know if you can see it really that good there in the video, but you can see there is a white print on the underbase. Again, that white ink has some adhesive properties in it. That's why DTF printers tend to get head clogs a lot in the white print head. And then the powder, when it goes through the powder shaker and oven, adheres to this. And I don't powder this again because I'm not applying it to anything. I just want to see the inks. So, and I put it on a dark background. So again, so you can see, you know, the lines. Try to get in as close as I can, so you can see. And then again, the big thing is the other side when you look at it to make sure that you're not seeing that white, you know, popping out. So, but that print looks good. So if I'd seen anything, problems in the print, and this is where this goes when I'm done with it. So if I'd seen anything though with that print, with problems, I would definitely make changes or adjustments to things, vertical or horizontal print alignments. If there's color issues, you see banding or your colors don't look proper, then typically you're going to run maybe another couple of strong head cleans to see if it'll clear that up. Sometimes I'll be printing and you'll get banding just because the printer's been printing for so long, and you have to kind of stop it and run some head cleans on it and then get it back to printing again. So you got to keep an eye on those things. But that's it. So I did some prints the other day. Let's see here. This came out pretty good. Because it's October's coming up, breast cancer awareness. There's a lot of pink prints going on right now, so colors have to look good for those prints that are going out. So, well, thank you for watching my video today. That's about all I've got. Again, that's my process. It's fairly simplistic in the mornings, excuse me, just to do my head cleans, do my nozzle checks, do my morning print file to make sure that everything looks okay, and then I can start working on my jobs. So I'm going to start printing some stuff out here this morning. I do appreciate you guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when I post new videos. We'll see you on the next video. Take care.